It's a little bit of a delay when I do this. Let's see what's happening here. If this is rolling, I'm start a little early. I'm going to wait a little bit here because I actually started 2 to 3 minutes early, and it's to let things flow. Test the audio. You let me know in chat if you're seeing something and if you're hearing something and you're hearing some voice. Hopefully my voice. And if you're hearing other voices, that's okay too. I understand. As a Gemini, I understand. So welcome, y'all. As I test my visuals and my sound and wait for people to jump in here. For those of you who are new, I want you to take a look at the rules and the way I have things going on here, as in I only take phone calls, and whoever's lucky enough to get through when I answer, and sometimes there's 5 coming in, and whatever I answer, that's the one I catch and do. I don't take any data from chat. So yeah, it seems like it's coming in clear. You can hear me. Now, as we do this, I'm going to let you know here that I do various things here. I go off on tangents, for those of you who don't know. And the tangent I'm on right now is I want you to picture my face. Even though my face isn't on screen right now, and I want you to picture my face. And where my third eye would be or appear, I want you to put what you see on the screen, this eclipse graphic you're seeing, and I want you to put that in the third eye area. You could put it in your third eye area. I'm putting it on mine, and I want you to imagine it on mine too. So that's the kind of person I am. If you don't know who I really am, you saw me on the podcast, or you're new to this, all that, this is how I really roll. You know what I'm saying? Picture the eclipse happening in your third eye. Your third eye. Your third eye. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Nicolas Polymenakos, aka Sparkles of Gold. Welcome to the new and to the old and in between to my live stream. And here in these Empower Hours, I at some point start doing quick chart readings on air. And in between, I have to flush certain things out, and I will talk about transits, whatever comes to mind, or whatever rant I'm going to go off on. And that's how I roll, and that's how I do this. If you are new to this Empower Hour live stream, under the video in the description, you will see the rules that I have to this. I don't take data in chat and do it that way. I'm going to pop a number up on the screen, and whoever jumps in and gets it and I see it, I get it. I'll have multiple phone calls coming in. That's all I could do is take the one I have, and then I'm going to take the number off the screen, and at some point, I'll do another reading. I will tell you that on average, when I do this, I don't do more than 4. And it's because it's a lot. And so I don't even know if I'll get that far. It is how we do these on live streams and how it goes. So I want to say hi to everybody in the chat and catch up here. While I do a certain thing here, I'm going to pause a program I have and do this. I'm just glad everything's working out here so far tech-wise. I want to say hi. Let me go back to the beginning of chat here and just I see people who were there before from Sarah Pett to Black Sheep. Good to see you. Hi, Michelle. And Steffi G, what's up? You're probably coming from the other live stream you were watching. Citrius, hello. James Sanders, welcome back, James. Alessandra, hi, love. Sending you love from Italia. Good to see you here. It's late over there. You're up late with me. Titi and X, you made it for the sound check. The best part of the show. No, I'm just joking. Cecily Sewell, did I say that? Cecily Sewell, sounds good. Thank you. And Finnegan Phillips, I just finished the October forecast and found myself here. Look what you got yourself into. I see a circle. Sounds great. That's good. Welcome. Gabriela, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Hola, ¿qué tal? Good to see you. Jay Peterson, hopefully something my channel today is good. Blake, I hear digital tubas. It does. Does sound that way, doesn't it? All right, I'm almost finished with chat. Leah Mari, good to see you here. Jendi, what's up? John Newton, no, you're here. Whenever you make it on time, it's the right time, John. Angela Nelson, hello, thanks for doing this call and gathering. You're welcome, Angela. Christina S., good to see you. I'm seeing all the way from another hemisphere, another world. Devon, good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Orphic Astrology, hi. You know, I'm going through this AV in chat, by the way. Hi, Nicholas. Love these lives. Thank you for doing them. You're welcome. What's up, Wesley Base? Good to see you. Lady M from GA. Barris from Turkey. Wow. In this chat, I swear, half the people in this chat are outside the United States. So we're in different places, different time zones. And I've said this before on the stream. We are living in an age where we time travel. As soon as the internet happened, and email, it was a form of time travel. Start to instantly be from one place to another. Say something on an email. One place to another. Cell phone. I mean, it's wild, the world we live in such a short amount of time, what's happened technology-wise. So, Marcy, Tedla, good. Sacramento. That's like a whole nother world. Nikki R, what's up from PDX? I'm in PDX if you don't know that. Okay, so I see you all in chat. Thank you. Things are working out well. I'm looking at myself on the screen behind here, and I look like I'm okay, and it looks super purple. What did I do today? All right, so you know, when I did this and I planned this, I already knew I was going to be on the Astrology podcast. This is before anybody else knew, and so I programmed this particular date, and I did it really quick because my life is effing busy right now, and I'm like, I could do it on this Sunday at this time, and I wasn't even thinking about when I would do this. Like astrologer would I'm going to elect this, and I'm going to do it at that time, which I've done for a lot of my live streams, but this one I didn't even think about. But if you're looking and you know your astrology, and I'm going to go over this, I started at 4:58 p.m. Pacific time, and we know today's a huge day. And it just happened this way, but we know here, and hopefully you're going to help me out in chat here today with this one, because in an hour we have an exact Mars Pluto square that's been brewing all week and has been set off all week, and it happens exactly at 6:04 p.m. Pacific. But something even wilder than that, to add 6 minutes later at 6:10, is we say goodbye and hello in the Venus kind of way. And Venus will be leaving Leo at that time, so about an hour from now. So if I'm in the middle of a session and a reading here on this or whatever I'm doing, just remind me in chat, because I want to make note, especially with the Venus ingress. I just want to make note of that. And I'm making note of it now because what a run it's been here since June with Venus being in Leo. And I might talk about that at that moment, or who knows what the hell I'm going to do at that moment. So that's what's up. All right, let's get to this. I like to, for those who are new, you've already caught a bunch of things that I like to do, like this. Right? Or the visualization. Or how you look into my eyes and hear my voice. The colors around me. Something lurking behind me. Something, someone, entity behind me who guides me, along with other guides in my world and in your world. And speaking of, I thought today I would start with something in particular, as I do a lot of my live stream videos, with an Orphic hymn. And, you know, for some of you who have watched, you see that I pick certain ones. But I'm going to go back to one that I did a while back. And it's the Orphic hymn to Aphrodite. And I think this is apropos for today to be there, even though it's Mars Pluto. I could do one to Hades if you want, to Hades, but I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to start this one with Aphrodite again. And many months ago, it was earlier this year or last year when I was doing these beginning live streams, I read this one. And what it's done, and what Aphrodite and the representation of Venus and Aphrodite, what it's done in my life has been incredible. Not the easiest. Still isn't. But I am so dialed with and very lucky to have the messages come through. So, from the best, and let me get this straight to you, the best Orphic hymns book out there, okay? There's the other ones. Stick to the Greek, dude, okay? This is the one, and this is to Aphrodite. You got frankincense out there? I actually got to burn some over here. I have some behind me. I just didn't light it yet, but I will. So, heavenly, smiling, Aphrodite, praised in many hymns. Sea-born revered goddess of generation, you like the night-long revel. Oh, have you liked it, Venus and Leo? You couple lovers at night. O scheming mother of necessity, everything comes from you. You have yoked the world. You control all three realms. You give birth to all, to everything in heaven, to everything upon the fruitful earth, to everything in the depths of the sea. O venerable companion of Bacchus, you delight in festivities. O bride-like mother of Erotes, O persuasion, whose joy is in the bed of love, secretive giver of grace, visible and invisible, lovely tressed daughter of a noble father, bridal feast companion of the gods, sceptered she-wolf, beloved and man-loving, giver of birth and life. Your maddening love charms yoke mortals. So true. They yoke the many races of beasts to unbridled passion. Come, O goddess born in Kypros, you may be on Olympos, O queen exulting in the beauty of your face. You may be in Syria, country of fine frankincense. You may be driving your golden chariot in the plain. You may lord it over Egypt's fertile riverbed. Come, whether you ride your swan-drawn chariot over the sea's billows, joining the creatures of the deep as they dance in circles, or on land in the company of dark-faced nymphs, as light-footed they frisk over the sandy beaches. Come, lady, even if you are in Kypros that cherishes you, where fair maidens and chaste brides throughout the year sing of you. O blessed one, as they sing of immortal pure Adonis. Come, O beautiful, O comely goddess, I summon you with holy words, and I summon you with a pious soul. And that's how we do this. This is how we do this. Venus, Aphrodite, you're here. Let's do this. Let's relate to each other. We need you more than ever on a day like today with the transits and an eclipse this week. From leaving from Virgo or Leo into Virgo and the lessons that we will have there and the beautiful stuff that Venus and Virgo will do for us. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But you're all with me. And Aphrodite's with us. So let's do this. Yeah, and you know what? Oh, Leah Mari, thank you for the donation of $10 in chat here. Yes, we're starting off right. Talk about Venus move. Give me a second. That's some fine black frankincense I just lit. Now we're on. Now we're down. Welcome to anybody new watching here. I know you got through an Orphic hymn here, and I'm down to do this. So here I am. At some point here, I'm just get to the. I'll put up a number on the screen. I have to ease into this, and be patient with me. And I have to be patient for myself, okay? Because this thing that I do, I have to be on point, and it's energy, you know, it's energetic. So let's do it. So first off, I am going to go right here and put this. I wish it was like that. We're going to go there, and I should go. How come? That's one way of doing this. That's one way of doing it. Right now, in front of me, or in front of you, is the chart of the moment that I just hit. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I am on the West Coast, and we'll go pink. And I just want to point out where the moon is in Leo, 12 degrees. I think it's interesting here because we're not having a major conjunction of Venus and Leo here with the moon, but it's the last Leo moon with this, and we've had it the last 24 hours, a little bit more, and here we are. You know, it looks like I started the stream with a Pisces ascendant, and I won't even go to where this touches in my chart, but we're also going to point out here Mars in the situation at 27 degrees, and obviously the node and the sun and Mercury. And there she is, Venus, 29 degrees, 58 minutes. All right, so we want to know what's going on there. And you be good with me in chat when I try to keep up. So let me clear this out. Bear with me if tech issues happen, because this happens when on these live streams that I do. And I sometimes have to dial it in. So, yeah. All right. Looks like a bunch of stuff is in Libra. I see that in chat. Yeah, it looks like there is. One more note. I'm not going to tell you why yet. I want you to pay attention to Mercury at 7 degrees. Get that in your head, and get that in your head the degree of the sun at 15 and the node is at 24, okay? Later on, if I remember, I'm going to talk to you about why we're noting it and where it's going to go next, and there's a reason, okay? And I have to leave a little bit of a mystery when I do this to talk about stuff like this, okay? Make sure I'm on the screen. I'm good. That's the number, and you call right now. So whoever's going to jump in here is going to call and hopefully comes through on the phone. I grab the first person here, and then we're going to do it. Do not give me your real name. Have the best accurate birth time that you have. I got to input it while I talk to you. I can't go longer than 7 to 10 minutes, and that's the number. So as I wait here for this phone to ring, and hopefully it comes through here, here we go. We got a call. Hello, this is Sparkles of Gold. You're on air.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. And I'm not going to talk to you right now, but I'm telling the chat to let me know if they can hear in the video. And while I figure that out, I think you just turned down whatever device you were watching, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, because you heard the feedback and it's delayed. So just know that it's going to be delayed, right? So you're going to focus with me Because if
Okay.
you're looking at the screen with the sound off, it's going to not come till later. All right. So,
Cool.
what is the name I am going to use today?
Melissa.
Melissa. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk to the chat right now. Everyone watching, I got a caller already. I see a bunch of calls coming in, so we're going to wait to the next round, okay? So, Melissa, I'm going to enter you in here. You know your birth data, yes?
Yes.
Hold on a second, Melissa. I'm having a little bit of this is total juggling that I have to do. If you don't even know, people watching, it's good that I'm a Gemini because it's just the only way I could do this. All right, and I'm getting to you here in a second. So, Melissa, let's go first. When's your birth date?
It is October 31st, 1967.
October when?
31st, Halloween,
1967.
67.
And do you know what time?
7:10 p.m.
How do you know that?
It's on my birth certificate.
That's what I like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And where? What city?
Los Angeles, California.
Where is that? I've never heard of that place.
Oh, yeah.
You see how I roll, right? So
Right.
let me get this. It's been a while since I've been there. I got a bunch of people I need to go see, and a great Manly Hall down there. There's the Institute. There's this whole esoteric scene going on down there, by the way.
Yep, I love LA.
Yeah. If you know of a cheap place to live, let me know. All right. So, Melissa, we're calling you Melissa. October 31st, 1967, 7:10 p.m., Los Angeles, California. Correct?
Yep.
All right.
Correct.
Why am I seeing something there? That's what I want to see. All right. So I have your chart up on screen. I can, I'm going to be real here with you and for people watching. I'm going to start the way I usually start for real. And in this case, Melissa, it's a focus thing because we have a short amount of time. Okay, Melissa?
Right.
Melissa, how can I help you today? Is there something specific that you would like to maybe talk about or know about? How can I help you?
No, I just know that with the eclipses coming up, that one's like the one on the 14th is right on my moon. And I guess just whatever transits, I know that there's some crazy transits and going on in Libra.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I was just curious, what your thought was on it all.
Okay. And I want to first and foremost acknowledge you, Melissa, for the courage that it takes to come on air with a fake name or real name, whatever this is, in your birth data. This is the type of thing, it's just real business. We have fun with it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a ritual, as you've seen how I started the live stream.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I also want to say that I am looking at your chart. There's certain things that are popping out. Yes, the eclipse this week and the eclipse cycles that are going on this year and the next year definitely affect you. I can even go back to the end of April when we had a major eclipse that happened at 29 degrees Aries. Actually, that started off this eclipse story and this nodal story in Aries and Libra. And, you're having what they call a nodal return. And you were born with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. And that was how it was when you were born, right? And it takes 18 and a half, 19 years to get back to that point. So you're having what they call a nodal return. And we can go back 18 and a half, 19 years, and there's a story that happens here. So in one way, I'm telling you right now that what's happening this year let's just focus on the Aries and Libra part of your chart and your moon, that this is a longer, deep story, really. And that's for another type of reading, right? But I just want to say that to you. Now, if we're focusing and we're looking at where the moon is in your chart, and we are thinking about what the South Node is, and what happens with eclipses, they're usually, in my world, and I'll keep this very street simple, Nicholas simple, there's usually a flushing out or letting go here of something. Now, we will look to how your moon is functioning and how it's ruled. And it just so happens we're having a Venus kind of day to day, and it's ruled by this Venus of yours that's in the sign of Virgo for people watching. And here in about an hour, less than an hour, your Venus return is going to start for the month. And I don't know how familiar you are with your chart, Melissa. Do you know a little bit? Nothing?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I get a lot from that, what you just said. So, so here I'm going to focus and ask you a question.
Sure.
I'm wondering if you have anything, any space, any vessel in your life where you're able to output and create.
Yes.
Yes. And do you feel connected to that output in place?
Yeah, I do.
All right, good. And have you been accessing that place?
Yeah.
All right, this is good. I just needed to know that.
Yeah.
I know possibly in that place, don't know everything here, we're short, because we're dealing with the 5th house in your chart and where this eclipse is happening. That is the place where the letting go, or the type of maneuvering that's going around or going down with this eclipse, and these eclipses and these Libra transits are moving through. And I will say the politics of your relationship with this place. It could be the creative vessel that you mentioned. Obviously, it could be the way that you get your essential needs met, which is how we look at the moon, and it's functioning in a Libra way. So seeking harmony. And for me, that's where I was going to. I was like, how is this? Do you have a creative outlet? Are you finding and trying to discover a new type of harmony or the scales in your life through creativity and through your senses? That's why, Melissa, I asked that question.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And now I'm going to say something for you and for anybody else watching, because even this week with the clients I've had, they've all come to me and they've all been having anxiety and dread about this eclipse, because they've had Libra and they're tripping a little bit. And,
I plan on playing the lottery.
Oh, that's a different thing, because they're most people I'm talking to, they're thinking the worst is going to happen. Right?
Not me. I'm thinking complete opposite. I'm like, this is going to be lucky for me.
Okay, good. I'm digging that. And all right, that's good. That's I can't believe this. I also going to bring up something here too, and you might already know this. And in one way, I sort of get your maybe lottery thing. I don't know if you're doing it astrologically, but you also have Pluto going through your 8th house right now that deals with the occult and death and other people's resources, and it's squaring your nodes right now as we speak, this 27-degree node, and the other planets are triggering this. So something else, don't know, that has to do with your connection. It could be intimately, how you're intimately connected to another and the resources they carry, in a longer story that's gone down there because of Pluto being in your 8th and connecting with your nodes, and your nodes are getting triggered right now by the current transits. So there's that. Don't know if I'm giving you any true insight, but there's something else that I see here that's completely not with what we were talking about initially. Can I tell you that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. It's your Sun and your Mercury.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
I see you were born really close there. You got a retrograde Mercury. Mercury was right with the Sun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that Kazemi or combust? I always...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so here in this case, it's retrograde going through, and it's still retrograde. It's going through, and it's going to keep moving down the degrees. So it's a sense of a Kazemi, but then you have an exterior and external conjunctions, as they talk about here. That's the difference. So saying that, you have an eclipse at the end of the month that's close to here, but I'm wondering, Melissa.
Yeah.
Silence. How how are you doing with silence
How am I doing with silence?
in your life?
I haven't really noticed, to be honest with you.
Okay. I'm just curious. Do people hear what you have to say?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, good. Gemini rising. That's why I'm looking at that. That's why I looked at the Mercury and the Sun. I'm just thinking about the insights that come through you as someone that has a Mercury that's retrograde, but that's going through the heart of the Sun and being purified. And that kind of place there could be hard for some, but as they go on in life, they figure it out. And for me, when I look at that, I see gold. I see just a dialed in, amazing insights that come through even without words in the silence. Sometimes that's why I brought that up. And and I'm looking at a Mercury, Gemini rising that you are. You're gonna look at that as like a chatterbox. That's the first thing people are gonna say. Yeah, but I'm also wondering how you do when it's not chatterbox. The other ways of communicating, formulating, and what is channeled through oneself and through the mind and through word, and all the different languages that we use with ourselves to communicate to ourselves and to other people. And when I see this Mercury Sun, I see an amazing, amazing gift of insight here. And
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering here, like, are you heard? What you say is heard, because when you do, I'm sure whoever is lucky enough to get the insight, if they absorb it in, if they take it in, they better, because of the rarity of what you have. So anyway, that's something I like. I like your chart as a whole. I like all charts, so I'm not gonna say good or bad. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I will tell you, go back to 2004 before we get off the phone here. I don't know if I did this for you, but go back to 2004.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now what it is. Actually, no one could see this on the screen, and I'll pull it up on the screen now. I don't know if you still have your screen on, Melissa, but 2004 is the eclipse that's at 24 degrees or 21 degrees. That's equivalent to what's going to happen a week from now. In 2004, October 14th, it's the same thing, the same story. So to answer in one way your initial question about your this one Saturday is happening on your moon, so on and so forth, a little homework assignment for you to go back is to think about that point in your life, that whole year, when it comes to your 5th and 11th houses in your chart, or the Libra stuff.
Okay. I'll do that.
Melissa?
Uh-huh.
I appreciate you calling and being my first person today.
Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, awesome. Melissa. And one more thing here. God, do I love my Scorpios. I love my Scorpios. I love my Scorpio and Scorpio risings, and they drive me crazy. But see, I don't run away from them. People run away, most.
Right.
And then
we get a bad rap.
You totally get a bad rap.
Totally.
And then Scorpio's like, this person didn't run away. And then they tell me everything. They're used to having people tell them everything. Like that Mercury Sun of yours.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So you know what's up, Melissa.
Totally.
All right. Melissa, thanks for jumping in here. I appreciate you, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. Yeah. Take care.
See ya. Thanks, Melissa. Thank you. See how these go? They just don't know. I just go with it, whatever. So I haven't looked at the chat. I know some of you are trying to call, and I left the number up on the screen, which I'm not supposed to do. So I'm supposed to keep you all on your toes. So I'm sure many of you out there watching are like looking at the chart up on screen and like, you see this and you see that, and you're breaking down the chart. And I know some of you are astrologers, you're doing this, and that's cool. I just have to go with whatever pops and whatever the person, in a sense, brings up, and I'll do the best that I can. Melissa had something else in her chart that I saw that is fascinating. And Melissa, you're watching. It had to do with your Saturn and Mars. I just didn't bring it up. And if you know your astrology, Melissa, You pay attention to that Saturn and Mars here. Soon after Saturn leaves Pisces, your second return is going to happen. And that cardinal square that you have there is huge. In one way, there might be hints of this going on because of what's happening in your Aries and Libra parts of your chart right now with the eclipses. But just know, I saw your Saturn and Mars. I just want to say that. Let me look at chat. I hope you guys are being good in chat. Yes, we can hear. M, I see you in chat. I'm going to acknowledge all the new people. Mystic Solutions, what's up? Citrius and Jendi, I'm seeing. Oh, Orphic knows her stuff. I'm seeing Orphic talking about 2004. That's, yeah, you can keep going back into 90 something, by the way. You keep going back. You can also, by the way, you can look at the nodal flips. You're looking at the nodal flips that happened. So 9 years ago, when the nodes were in South Node Aries and North Node Libra, there's connections to this. Use the tightest, my philosophy and how I've learned is you want to use the tightest orbs possible, as in the degrees that you see on the chart. For those follow astrology or learning, you want to, like, if it's hitting a personal planet, like we had Melissa here with the moon at 22 degrees. This is right there with the 21 degree eclipse on Saturday. If it's like 7 degrees off, it's there, but you want to look at the other eclipses coming that might hit it exactly. You're just going to have more of the meat, or for those who eat tempeh, more of the tempeh there to work with, but you want the tight orb. Okay, so I'm just looking at chat to catch up. And KP 1231, thank you, by the way. And I see you in chat, Timothy Reynolds. All right. Again, chat, you're going to let me know when it's the Mars Pluto minutes and when it's Venus leaving Leo into Virgo, the Virgin. Virgo and Venus in Virgo, but technically it doesn't fit there. It's in fall, but damn, I'm telling you, in my life, that my experiences with people who have Venus in Virgo, it's all about something very special and specific, and I will tell you that later. It's something they're so good at. They're so good, and it's not like oh, the details, all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking. It's all that goes into this one place that they function through. That's amazing. That even Melissa, you still watching, function through. I saw the Venus Pluto conjunction, by the way. I saw that. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, that's what's up with that. Boom. Okay, let's do it. And number up on the screen. I'm not going to look at my phone right now. I'm going to count to a number in my head before I do this. I don't want to look at it. You counting with me? Hello. This is Sparkles of Gold.
Hello. Hello, this is Citrius.
Citrius, how are you? Can you turn down whatever your device you're listening to?
Yeah, I just turned off my speakers for my computer where you were on.
Isn't it amazing that my voice was coming through your speakers?
I know, it's great.
It's just amazing how we're doing this. Citrius, good to meet you. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah, be patient with me here. I gotta take a couple deep breaths. You just saw what I did for the first time, so like how this works, and every time it's different, right, Citrus? So
yeah, that makes sense. And this is my first time getting on the live stream, and it's very exciting. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure, no problem. And let me get set up here. If I don't spell your name right, you'll understand. Citrus. When's your birthday?
September 6th, 1992.
What time?
9:26 in the morning.
How do you know that?
Birth chart, or my birth certificate.
Yeah,
that
it's
thing.
pretty exact time there. Where?
Hanover, Pennsylvania. There are multiple Hanovers, so we're looking at the one in York County.
Okay, can you spell Hanover for me?
Yep. Hanover.
And you said in what state?
Pennsylvania.
All right. Is that east or the west Pennsylvania? I don't know why I think about it that way, but
I guess like southern central.
okay.
I guess.
Yeah, help me out on the particular county again.
York County.
I see it. I see it. All right, Citrus, September 6, 1992, 9:26 a.m., Hanover, Pennsylvania. I once drove from one side of Pennsylvania to the other. I started off playing at the World Pinball Championships, and then I ended up at an astrology conference. That tells you my weird life.
That sounds amazing. I didn't even know there was a pinball thing.
There is. It's a freaky world of people who are wild about pinball.
I love it.
I had another life. All right, Citrus. Let's try to focus on one thing here. Whatever calls you. But what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Well, Venus retrograde just messed me up, and I'm sure you can see how many things I have in Virgo. So I'm a little anxious about Virgo or Venus hitting all of my Virgo stuff, but also like every card reading I've been doing lately has indicated that a huge transformation is coming. And like it's not, I feel like everything's indicated it's not quite time yet, but it's building up to that. And I'm wondering if astrologically all the things that we're seeing going on with October hitting anything in my chart perhaps might be leading into that.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. I've heard a couple things there. First, I will say that how much do you know about astrology, Citrus? There's no right or wrong here. So
I feel like I'm still very beginner. I'm still very basic. I'm mostly familiar with the planets, the signs, and somewhat the houses. I'm still learning about aspects and returns and whatnot.
Okay, I'm curious, Citrus. From let's say an open, creative way of thinking, where there's no right or wrong. Okay, we're setting up our space here, you and I. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing from a creative space, open space? What's the first thing that comes to mind? How you would talk or think about what being a Virgo is?
Researcher. I see it as like I guess more, I shouldn't say introspective, but like how Gemini tends to be more social. The other side of Mercury, I see it as I just want to analyze I actually like doing spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to learn everything. Give me all the knowledge. I want to organize all the knowledge, and I want to get things. I just want to know things, and I want, as much as my space is a hot mess, like I got to have all of my books, and I love learning, and let's learn everything all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for doing that. I was just curious because, typically, traditionally, people learning astrology, they're going to see the 3 planets in Virgo in your 12th house, and you're going to hear words self-undoing. You're going to hear illness. You're going to hear rehabilitative places, prisons. You're going to hear all this stuff. And it's all true to some sense. It is. But, I in particular have a mix of different types of philosophies, astrology-wise, and the way I do things. You started asking in the beginning here about the Virgo stuff and the transit. We got Venus coming into Virgo here real soon. And the reason why I asked you about this is because there's already been a hint of certain things coming through because we've had Mars in Virgo for 2 months in the summertime. We had a Mercury retrograde that just happened in Virgo, like for you, which is huge because you were born with Mercury in Virgo. And here we have Venus coming through today for a month, just about a little bit a month. And I was just curious to see what was the first thing that came up in you when I asked you about being a Virgo, what it is. Right. I said it in that way because I'm sure there are other things one can talk about, or a Virgo can talk about within themselves, of how what they don't like or what they don't see maybe working how they would like it to work from a Virgo perspective. So I don't want to go there, because I've talked to many Virgos in my life, and they always they'll put themselves in a place where they will go inward and dismantle themselves. Okay. And for here, with Venus coming through, I think because of what's happened with Venus and Leo since June, I think this is a great thing for Venus as a whole. They get to take a rest. And one thing about Virgo energy, I think they know how to construct situations, whether it's detailed or a regimen, when it comes to doing anything. And in this case, in your case, it coming through a part of your chart, I think that's great from a rehabilitative point of view, right? So, Citrius, are you with me?
Yep.
Yeah. And so Venus-y things, as in, let's keep it simple, our senses, how we engage the world through our senses, if we are about to engage them in the next month through Virgo. And yes, we can be highly critical and analytical about it. And like you said, we could spreadsheet it up. We could spreadsheet the each tea that you'll drink every other day for whatever purposes for yourself, to make yourself feel good. That's an example, right? But I think here too, with Venus coming through your 12th, is like, I'm saying like, this is a good time in the month here, at least for that part, to can you chill and find some a place where you can have no pressures or stresses. Does this make sense to you?
It does. Part of the reason I was concerned is because throughout Venus retrograde, I actually had to go on disability for my mental health, and ended up quitting my job for my mental health, and we're now it's about to hit all of my everything, and I know things feel, I'm just concerned. Like, I know things will be okay. I'm just, my Virgo self is just always anxious forever. But I'm trying to learn how to chill. I am in therapy to learn how to chill.
Yeah. So just let me first say something here. I feel and heard what you're saying and what you've gone through and where you're at right now, and it's difficult. It sounds difficult and challenging, and I'm sorry. This is where you are with some things. I'm also going to say that again.
I was just going to say it's fine. I'm pretty sure I'm just, as much as I don't know, it feels like my North Node is trying to teach me how to move on. So.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if that's actually what it does, but.
Yeah, I'll say something to that in here in a second. But I'm glad, and I will use the word strong here, that you're being very strong in one sense and courageous in one sense because of what you have to deal with, but you've also are see what's happening, and that you've brought in tools into your world and will to help you, and that takes heart, and that takes courage to do something like that, and I can see here your gifts as a Virgo coming into play to help you, as to you want to progress or to figure it out. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with Venus coming through and touching Virgo planets, especially after what you've told me here and where you're at. But I will stick to something very simple here. But I recommend, is what your senses tell you. Your five senses. From something that you smell or hearing, like you're hearing me now.
Mm-hmm.
On the most simplest ways. Here in the next month, you could try it as an exercise. Like the way we created the space, you and I, when we first started to talk about it. It's an open palette. There's no right or wrong. And I I don't know, right now I'm like, your senses, like, what do they tell you, or what are you discovering? What will it be here in the next month? And because everything else out there, and it sounds like in your world, can be stressful and complicated, you know. And I'm thinking about the Earth way of doing it, the Earth Virgo way of doing it, you know. So that is what I have to say to that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I also, to talk, you know, about your other initial things that you've asked me. The eclipse this week, you know, happens like the caller earlier at 21 degrees. And I will tell you that when we get into, it looks like, you know, probably seeing this on screen. Viewers are probably watching what I'm doing right now. I'm looking for something in particular. I see the eclipse in the springtime that might be a little bit more on point for like what is happening here in your rising sign and your house of relationships, the Aries and Libra part of your chart. So, you know, the eclipse next spring, which is a big one, by the way, because a lot of people are going to be able to see this in the United States. That one, I think, is a lot more potent than, let's say, affecting your chart than this one right now. I think you're getting hints here about, you know, relationships and how you stand and how you're relating to the world, and your autonomy with that, and if things are balanced and finding the balance in that. But I really start to see it here next spring with the eclipse that happens on the 8th of April. You asked me something else before we go. You asked me something about Capricorn, yes?
I don't think so, but bringing up Capricorn, I do see that my moon, Uranus, and Neptune are all conjunct one another in the third house, right? And how on earth does that actually function?
Yeah, it sounds like you use a different house system than I do, because I use whole sign, so it falls in the fourth for me. So
Okay.
but let's third or fourth. Okay, let's just think about this. I'm wondering about. I'll put it in a very simple way. I won't explain tech wise for everybody watching, because I don't care about everybody watching right now. I just care about you and just a message, right? So I'm just curious about if I say these words to you, and just tell me what comes up, okay?
Okay.
Letting go.
What is that?
Yeah, what do you think when I say letting go? What comes up for you?
No, that is what, like, I still remember the people who bullied me in kindergarten. I am trying to learn how to let go, but it's very difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's letting go. That's on the same list of banned words that my Virgo has right alongside chill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's remember that your Virgo stuff on a basic level, your Virgo planets and your Capricorn planets, they harmonize with each other when they're used. So technically it's called a trine, right? And I always think of trines as a situation, those relationships where it can come easy, but you have to work the muscle. You have to like take actions with it, because there's a tendency with trines to just like, oh, it comes to me here and there, it flows. For me, I'm like looking at this, and I'm looking at like how the Virgo and the Capricorn relate to each other and how they can move off each other in a great way. At the same time, I'm going to tell you and acknowledge you here that because of you mentioned something like when you're a kid being bullied and all those things that are very difficult and that you carry. You know, there's certain functions that happens with the moon and let's say with Uranus and Neptune, and you know, where you carry it. But first and foremost, we do things. We are human beings, and we get by every day because it's pure survival. Okay? And so we just are trying to get through the day as soon as we come out of the womb. So I'm saying that looking at your Capricorn planets, I asked you, you know, when I say let go, what comes up, and you told me. And for me, I'm looking like, well, I could tell you, Citrus, well, you just need to learn how to let go. And I'm just like, that's not where I'm coming from. When I see this and what you told me is, I'm thinking like, oh, you have some things here in the bottom of your chart with your moon that actually have brought you needed structure and boundaries to survive, to protect yourself, to get through. Right? And it's how one possibly can look at that in themselves and find the gold and the gift in that, and then take that along with your Virgo stuff. And there's amazing systems that are created between these two signs and these planets, so that gift, that gift that you told me about earlier, I like to do spreadsheets, I like to blah, blah, like these things. That is more than a gift. It's talents and gifts. And you find a way to connect that Capricorn and Virgo in your chart. And let's say in your present situation, there's something amazing that you can, I think, construct there to help you take a step forward. And I'm going to let that one go. That's what I have to say there. I just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a puzzle that I gotta figure out. I like puzzles. It'll happen eventually.
No,
Just like astrology. Astrology is a puzzle we'll figure out eventually.
Yeah, you know what it is. Sometimes before we get off the phone, Citrus, I'll say this to you. Sometimes I have my own Virgo stuff, and I'm an astrologer, work with clients. I've have to learn this interesting balancing way of living where you want to know everything, and if you have it in you to go figure out the puzzle, right? And it's gifted, like you have those gifts. You could figure it out the puzzle. You're really good at systems. You could find out what's not functioning and put something new in it so it works, right? At the same time, and I know this for myself, how much can you know and how much can you do, right? And, it's just, I think knowing in life, knowing when to like, okay, it's time to take a break. And, I'll have my opportunity to construct and put the puzzle again, and that with some rest and a break, it becomes fun again, right? Or one's mind is clean and fresh, right? It's like,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm just saying these things to you because I see it in your chart. So Citrus, you calling me up, man? You're being really honest and being straight up here and showing me your world, man. That my heart is with you.
I mean, there's no point in me calling up and then being dishonest. But yeah, no, I'm very glad you took my call. Thank you so much. I have learned a fair bit from you just from this.
Yeah, Citrus.
I very appreciate this.
You're no problem. I'm so glad that you called, Citrus, and I'll be thinking. I'm pulling for you, okay, my friend.
Aw, thank you.
5 senses. Be well, Citrus.
You as well. Thank y'all. I'll tune.
I want anybody watching. I don't want you to, when you are off, and when I mean you're off, like you're in a space in your life, all of your life, a part of your life that is challenging. You have to move through emotions, right? You have to move the headspace. Sometimes we get stuck in those spaces. Sometimes we're alone. We don't have the resources to get through the spaces. Or we find them, we create them themselves. Whatever it is, there's no, whatever. What I'm saying to you is, every single one of you out there, whether you know astrology or not, or other modalities, you're human and you go through things. If you could see, and remind yourself in a certain way of what power that you have. Because you have it. In the times you don't think it, you think it's gone. It's there. I always give props. I always give props to people like Citrus, somebody else who's in a spot. But they're like trying to see and figure it out. And I'm like, more power to people who are just trying to understand, because it's so much pressure. And at the same time, to know like, okay, it's just finding those spaces of chill and then to understand. But we all deserve to figure things out in our life and to have happiness and to conquer things. But when it's challenging, it's hard. So it's like, who are your resources? Do you have the tools? Do you have access to tools? I can go off on more on a deeper rant about this, about community and what other stuff capitalism is created in our world and country when it comes to how to be held or heard, helped. So, Citrius, I'm pulling. I'm right there with you. I'm so happy that you called. I see it in you. I see it in you. I see the power. Let me look at chat. It's a lot of chat. I see some astrologers in here. They're going to do what you're going to do. You can see I just go a certain way when I do this. It's obviously getting sessions with me is a little different than this. So I just want to, as a disclaimer, I have to go with whatever, and I'm not even looking at transit sometimes. I'm just looking at some stuff I just see or what someone wants to see. See people talking about 8th and 12th farther. You got some astrologers in here. Think of Venus transit to these planets, Kate says, as a salve. Exactly, Kate. That's where I was when I saw that. It sounds, Kate, thank you. Kate in chat, Citrius, if you're watching, said something amazing. And that's where I was getting to, was like using your senses, in a very simple way. And I think so too. I don't care if Venus is in fall. I don't give a shit about dignity at times. I'm not dissing on it. It's in my training. But we use situations. Kate says, I think Venus transit to these planets will be a salve. Those are some Virgo words, Kate's saying. It sounds like you're meeting your challenges with grace. Kate, that's for you, Citrius. And the rest of the chat, Orphic is busting out. Citrius, you're watching. Go take a look at the chat. I got some good stuff in there for you. Hi, Elena Crawford. Happy Sunday. Casey, good to see you in chat. Casey's going to got some good stuff too. Casey knows. I got some Virgo energy in the chat today. Devon, Titi and X, Gabriella is bringing us something interesting in chat about EMDR, and I've had EMDR in my life for a long time. Really helped me out. Great suggestion. Thank you for being nice in the chat, people. This is what I worry about when I can't look at the chat. When I'm going to get later, I might have to get some mods, but I don't have to. Right now, I don't. I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing really good stuff. Thank you, people. We got you, Citrus. We got you. Melissa, too. My Scorpio, too. We got you. Nikki R., good to see you in chat. Angela M., Kate Citrus. All right, so give me a second here. Actually, I'm going to do this now. So I know some of you want to call in. You got to be patient here because I see people calling in. I'm not going to take a call here for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes possibly. And there's a reason why, because I'm catching this right now. All right, here's the chart right now, 601. Okay, so we are going to focus on this first. Here is Pluto at 27 degrees. And here is Mars at 27 degrees. The square is happening. It's exact in a couple minutes here. We have seen things politically get set off the last 48 hours or more, unfortunately. In the Middle East, we've had stuff. We've had earthquakes happen in Afghanistan this weekend and a couple other places in the world. As mundane astrologers are studying, I'm not the expert on this, I'm studying, that. I know other people are really good at this. When we see Mars aspects to outer body planets like Neptune or Pluto or Uranus, we have rocking events like this, like an earthquakes, like the horrible conflict ongoing conflict that's happening in the Middle East that got set off this weekend with Mars coming through the South Node and with Pluto. Now, there's that. Now, anybody who's got cardinal degrees at late 20 somethings that you're seeing here on a chart, you have a power struggle going on in your life from the Capricorn to the Libra part of your chart, or wherever you have the other cardinal stuff, whether it's in Cancer or Aries. I mean, let's not forget that let's not forget Aries. I'll get to this in a second. So I want to point this out, and I want you to know and understand that there's manipulation and rebellion with Mars Pluto squares. So there's the rebellion in one way that comes out of being manipulated by Pluto, let's say, a representation of it. Pluto and Capricorn, we're dealing with old structures here, Saturnian old power grabs that are not letting go. And even though if the kinks and cracks in the foundations from that place or whatever, it's in a major rooted power position for a long time, and they're not letting go. It's not letting go, whatever. I'm not going to point fingers to anybody. I'm just saying basic dynamics here. And you have Mars in Libra, which is initially would like to over accentuate diplomacy, but when it doesn't happen, it becomes strategic in conflict. Right? This is one way I look at it. So it's like you have jealousy, you have manipulation games, jealousy games that happen with Pluto Mars. It's rash, not out of the blue, compulsive decision making. Mars Pluto, rash Mars Pluto. So, this is something just to understand. If I was talking to somebody and I had something there, I obviously have to hear the stories like you do. If you notice, when people are calling, I'm asking what they want to talk about. I can't give solutions. It's not a full chart reading. I'm just listening to what they're saying and getting reflections of what it can do very simply when I do these live streams. It's not to get super deep. It's to keep it real simple, right? So anyway, if I were to keep it really simple here with Mars Pluto, and you have this going on in your world right now, if you can, wait. As in, if you don't have to make an impulsive, rash, defensive decision or attacking decision, wait. Wait till the pieces fall. Then work with the pieces to eventually put those pieces together, and so you can move through. So if we were to take the square of the Mars-Pluto square in a way after the harshness of it all and the intensity and the manipulation and power play, if we get past that, can you find the way to work constructively with the planets, the energies of the situation? But a lot of times, because of the abruptness, the caustic vibes of Mars-Pluto, the intense stuff that wells up and bubbles up and explodes to the surface, it's very compulsive and very rash. And we like to try to find the things after the pieces fall to construct and take action through, because it's cardinal too. But a lot of times you get caught up in the explosive, the harshness of cardinal energy. So if you can hold on, and if you're lucky enough and fortunate enough to watch it happening and not jump in, even let's say if it's happening to you, if you find safe refuge or a place to chill, good. You have to understand your place in the chess game of this. And for me, whether it's the Pluto side, the Mars side, or you're taking on both, or it's happening to you, I'm saying, can you lay low? Can you just let it settle? It's not going away, but can you come from that other place, then work as Mars and Pluto together? It's one way to work the square. It's definitely not easy, and it's harsh here. It's just it's harsh. If I were to take the conflict in the Middle East and they were to hear what I just said, none of them are going to hear me. That's just, you see how these situations are. And I'm not talking about sides. I'm just talking about how stories and relating and everything, which this is the month of relating here, is the different facets of the politics of relating. And that's pretty much how Libra rolls and what the stories bring. So I'll look at chat in a second, but I just want to point out this Mars Pluto thing, which is happening at 6:04 p.m., which I just was talking about it now. I hope you out there, whatever you've had happen and were affected by this in the last 5 days, last week, what's been building into this week, that you're able to just take a suggestion from me, okay? If you don't got to jump in, all right? And I'll get to the chat in a second. So next thing I want to talk about, and then I'll get to taking another call, is something that's happening now in 2 minutes. And it's Venus. Let's refresh the screen. There she is. Venus in Leo, 29 degrees, 59 minutes. I love you. I love you, Venus in Leo. I saw what you went through. And you have put on, and you've been honest about your emotions, the way you have presented yourself, even when you didn't think you were presentable during the retrograde, how you came out through the sun. You touched Jupiter 3 times. You touched Uranus 3 times. Most importantly, you touched Chiron 3 times. And so you showed us a story of how to move through a transformative game, a transformative death and rebirth regenerative process. And you did it with grace, style, and grace. And even if it wasn't that way for a big part of it, it wasn't, that you've come out here with a new way of showing us. And when I say show, I'm talking about expression. You deserve to be seen. We see you. But I really like that you showed us the dark parts. And that usually a Venus in Leo is going to prep themselves and make themselves beautiful and express whatever they are through the different vessels, through their body, through their looks, through their sexuality. But this time, it's like no choice but to show us what's behind the curtain. What's behind it all. The kinks and the cracks, whatever. To me, this is the first time I've said it on a live stream. I think the darkness and the process that, with the veil down, showing us your regenerative process since June, is the hottest thing. To me, it's been the hottest thing. And I've had examples in my life from what I've seen with people, and to get past the hot thing, just to show us how it's done. Like, show us how it's done. A reminder of the reconstruction of how we see and love ourselves. And that is beauty. That is love. Venus and Leo is on stage constantly. And they have put themselves on stage. They had to go backstage, but in this case, it was a reality TV show. There was a camera backstage. It wasn't just what you showed us on stage, whether you're acting or not. We actually saw it behind the scenes. It's a reality TV show. We saw it. So I'm saying, incredible job, an incredible piece of work that you've done. Those of you who have fixed signs were affected by this. It's not over yet, and I'm going to get to that in a second, but I just want to acknowledge Venus and Leo, and you Venus and Leos out there, your Leo risings, you got Leo sun, you got, stuff connected to this. Back before, when I didn't have my shit together, that I was just really dumb and naive, I couldn't stand Leos. I just couldn't stand them. And I was like, they just drive me crazy. Now, I got an Aquarius moon, Mars in Aquarius, it makes sense. But what I didn't realize is how much I had to learn from them. And it wasn't until I had certain people come into my life, this is way back when, before I was a practicing astrologer and I was still studying, I learned, I almost got thrown into situations I couldn't get out of with Leo energy. And I was like, and I saw what it was. And then all of a sudden it was completely reversed. I loved my Leo. I just fell in love because I'm like, they showed me something. They showed me that it was okay for me to go like, show like, look how hot I am. Look how amazing I am. And not only that, look this amazingness. I want to share it with you. It's okay to brag in a positive way about oneself. Look what I did. Look what I made. Check it out. Have it. I want you to have this. Share it with me. This is fucking generosity. what it is to stand up and show oneself. So I think about this, and I think about what happened with Venus and Leo here, and we got to see everything. And that is courageous to do. That is to put yourself out. So when Venus was at night, remember we saw it at night, was going through and went through Cazimi, and it's morning now. It's the greatest elongation here very, very soon in morning here. And this next couple days with Regulus and the moon, if those of you on a deeper fixed star trip, you know what the next 3 days are happening with Venus. We say goodbye. We say goodbye to you, Venus and Leo. And it was the biggest transit for me of the year astrologically. If I was to point everything out, this is the one that was everything. And there's other stuff, but it was the biggest astro data point of the year for me. Not me personally, just in general, I thought. So, and it still is. Now, we enter in, and we have already, and we said our goodbyes, and we're in Venus and Virgo. My practical, beautiful Venus sign that could be very discerning in relationships for the right reasons. I'm looking at chat right now. I'll get to that in a second. But I just want to point out that they have their own sensuality, Venus and Virgo. Everything that's just happened in the last so many months with Venus and Leo, now we go to this inward place in a different way. We got something happening tomorrow off the bat. It's a reality check that happens with Venus, because Venus just entered Virgo while I was talking. In less than 24 hours, it's opposite Saturn in Pisces in the sky. It's a full-on reality check. So I'm celebrating you, Venus and Leo, but they're about to get a reality check. It's just like Saturn on the other side. It's like boom, and it's like back to work. And so whatever the case is, this is the word I want to bring up, okay? Keep it real simple. My Venus in Virgos is about ceremony. Ritualistic ceremony. That the things that are discerning in the detail that Venus in Virgo does, the service that it brings to relationships, it's holy. It's a ceremony. Why am I saying that? Because a lot of times, if the Virgo energy, this goes out to Citrius, who's watching too, and our first caller who's got this, it's like what is dirty and broken down is part of the ceremony. And we want to not avoid those places. We want to move through those places and understand the pieces, the brokenness, and that it's just as good, it's just as useful as perfect. Things running efficiently, the critical, they're all one and the same really in the end, but we go through this to be purified. You cannot help but be dirty to go through purification. Can you, in a ceremony, through love, through your senses, through relating, with service and ceremony? Now, I'll be done here soon. This is how I do my stream, but just go. Remember, go look at the myth and archetype of Virgo. The Vestal Virgins. There's other stuff. They are autonomous, 100% autonomous beings. No one tells them what to do. They hold purification rituals. Ceremony. Incredible depth. Are there details in the portions of the tea that we drink or the ceremonies that we do? Hell, yes, there is. Is there this amount of frankincense or storax involved? Or yes, there is. This is what they do. But it's more than that. It's like to go through the ceremony of relating, where it's inward, where we go through a process coming out of Leo and this other like type of purification method, and we let go into that, and we trust the Venus and Virgo white light that they are, the passionate sensuality they have through ceremony. It's incredible. I'm not giving it justice. I'm just not. But I just think that when Venus is opposite Saturn here now, as we go into tomorrow, reality check. But remember, it's gonna hit all the outer bodies. It's gonna hit Jupiter and Uranus a long way, and Pluto here in the next month. We've got interesting story with Venus. And let's not forget, and I'll be done with my rant. Let us not forget that Venus, now that it left Leo, let me update the chart. Here it is, now at 0. Venus is the ruler of this, of everything in Libra. Now, these eclipses that happen Saturday and the eclipse that we have in the end of the month in Taurus, this is ruled by Venus and Virgo now. So we have an interesting thing happen here where just how Venus is going to function now. I'm just bringing ritual and ceremony involved. And I'm done with that one. And I will talk more about that. Yeah. I'm, let's do it. I'm an hour and 20 minutes in. I'm long today. Hey, y'all, I'll look at chat here after this. You see what's going on, what I have on the screen. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to roll now. Watch, somebody's going to call. They're going to have Venus and Virgo or something. I'm sure I know some of the people here in chat here. I know you got people in chat. There's some great practitioners in here. I just want to let you know. We got a bunch of astrologers here in this chat that are learning. We got people who are learning their stuff. They know their stuff. Yeah, see, even Orphic brought up the Regalis thing too. So I was on point. You're on point there. I got some classical people here. And hello, this is Sparkles of Gold. You're on air.
Hi, this is Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Can you turn down the device you're watching me on?
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Nikki. My name is Nick. My name is Nicholas.
Did I win?
Yes, you won. Are you
kidding me?
What do you want to win? Just make something up.
God.
What did you win?
My Venus just crossed over my Jupiter in my first house. I'm like, yeah.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
Give me a second, Nikki.
Sure.
Oh man. I think my chat's taking care of themselves because I can't look at chat, but they're good people in chat right now. I know a lot of these people, so they're good. All right, Nikki.
Yeah. Oh, this is so awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you think that. And it's always an adventure for me. It's all on the fly,
Yeah. No, I'm so enjoying this. I saw you on the podcast recently, and I'm like, how did I not know about this guy?
Oh, thank you for showing up, Nikki. Yeah, I've had a lot of that in the last week. If you can imagine my life. My messages.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. I tried that on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got other weird ideas that are coming down the pipeline. So, all right, Nikki, let's get to it. Can I look at your chart today?
Yeah.
All right. What's your birthday?
It is February 29th, 1968.
Ah, we got a leap year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forever young.
Yeah. That's funny. What time?
3:28 p.m.
That sounds like in a birth certificate.
Yes.
All right. What city?
Tacoma, Washington.
I know Tacoma.
Yeah.
I do.
I knew it for many years.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I just drove through the other day to Tacoma. It's growing. It's been growing for a long time over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had to get out.
Yeah. Hopefully it's peaceful and trees or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Nikki. February 29th, 1968, 3:28 p.m., Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah.
Hold on, Nikki. Hold on.
Sure.
I see a lot of people calling me. You know why I have my rules this way? Because I have to make it a surprise when I do this. I can't apologize for not taking your call. I just have to take it whenever it pops and I'm ready. So I'm just letting everybody know.
Of course.
Yeah, and there's some people who don't make it, and that's how it rolls. That's how it happens. Nikki. Leo rising.
Yes.
I see what you're saying now. You got a total jackpot today.
I did. I didn't buy a lotto ticket, but I feel like I got one.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Jupiter, as you were watching this, or Venus, as we were watching this in the last 24 hours for you, is on your Jupiter.
Yeah.
So I hope you've had a good weekend here, with the last days of Venus being in Virgo, or excuse me, in Leo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see something right now I could talk about, but Nikki, is there one thing in particular you would like to focus on or just wonder about? Or
Well, I know it's my nodal return, And I haven't been so concerned about it. I mean, the last time it occurred was my divorce back in 2004. But more so, I'm just kind of wondering about the third house in general, I guess. What that all means.
Do you know your neighbors?
I moved here about a year ago, and I'm still just getting to know people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just kind of wondered about my environment.
Yeah. And I'm curious about your environment. Is the type of place that you're living in, the situation, do you walk out the door and go to your car? Do you go for a walk? Like, I'm curious. Like, how is it, like, around your house?
I'm venturing out. Just recently, I found a couple trails, doing a little hiking. Yeah, I love that part about it.
All right. Sounds like you have something else you could say about it, but okay, good. I'm you know why I said that, yes?
No?
Yeah, I'm looking at your immediate surroundings, because when we third house on a basic level, we're talking about, you hear siblings a lot, right? So we haven't even gone there. You're going to hear that. But I just started to talk about, like, what's the short transverses and short journeys that's around you. And a lot of times it's the neighborhood, somewhere close. It's not getting on a plane and going somewhere else. It's something around you. That's why I ask, hey, what are you doing when you walk outside the house,
Yeah.
Your neighbors, like, who's your neighbor? Have you met your neighbors? Is it like that? That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and there's other things, like other weird things, like well, they're not weird, but some people, in the classical sense, we're dealing with a place too where we access our dreams. It's funny. It's this weird internal dream accessing place that traditionally old school that the third house talks about too. So that's something I will say. Friends are involved here too. And you hear friends in astrology, since we're talking, a little bit about astrology. I could tell that. Yeah, that the third house is, and 11th house has to do with friends, 11th communities, right? But friends are involved here too. And you have this eclipse is happening here, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's siblings, neighbors, or friends, how you feel about these days in your world?
To be honest, it's really emptied out over the last couple years. As far as friends go, my lifestyle has changed a bit over the summer. As soon as Pluto dipped back into my 6th house, health issues struck for about a hard week, and I figured Venus is there on my ascendant to help transform my health and regimen, daily health regimen. And so I don't hang out with the friends that, would like to go drinking or any of that anymore. So that really eliminated some of that. So I kind of feel like it's really emptied out.
Yeah.
And maybe just opened up some space to, build some new friendships, partnerships. Yeah, so hopefully that's an opportunity.
Yeah, I think you know exactly what's going on, Nikki, because, as I talked about earlier, and how one way we look at the south node with the eclipses is there's a letting go or a pushing out or an excretion, like it's purging out, so it's a thing that I think here, because of where it is at 19 degrees, and you have, stuff on the other side, that this particular point in time, it's probably the focal point, and there's still this theme that goes on till next year, right?
Yeah.
But, this might not make any sense to you, but I'm going to go off something else that you said.
Okay.
This Venus transit that went through your rising sign.
Uh-huh.
So I'm curious, we sort of maybe touched on this. I'm curious about your vitality. Like, I'm just like wondering how, like, if you want, you don't have to answer this, okay? But
yeah.
Let's just you're looking at yourself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we're there, especially today with Venus going over your Jupiter, okay?
Yippee! Yeah.
What do you see? What do you see in the mirror, Nikki?
Well, interesting enough, it was different. before Venus transited my ascendant. I had some extra pounds on me. My diet was crap. I wasn't doing, physical activity as much. But since, the whole retrograde, I felt like she was massaging my whole first house. I've totally changed I went total plant-based and have lost a couple pounds, and my energy level has increased. And so I felt like that was the gift, even though it was I felt like there were some painful summer days. There was a week in particular that just really had to get my attention. And so thank you, Pluto. But now to answer your question, when I look in the mirror, it's a little bit better than what it started. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I felt like there was a gift there.
Good work, Nikki. Good job. Like seriously, you went through a major Venus transit, and I'm bringing up your vitality and energy, because that's what the first house deals with first and foremost. It's our rising, how we engage the world, how the world sees us. It is. And
go ahead. I felt it was more internal, though. I'm more of the sun. I relate more to my sun and my moon. Like my sun in my 8th house, like I can do Scorpio really easy. But Leo on the ascendant, I just I'm a backstage person. I don't really care for the limelight, so to speak. Yeah. But I felt like Venus was there to just really do some inner work. And so I just went along with it. And I felt so much better for it.
Oh, good. So on my Venus and Leo rant before this was actually, I was talking to you. Yeah. Yeah. And
I love that.
Talking to you. And, let's just say this out loud. I use whole sign house system here. The ruler of your ascendant is in the 8th house. I could see how you hide out, It's a different place for the sun to be. So let's just say that. But I also, too, it seemed like I went on a tangent, but I asked you about how this Venus transit went for you, because it is connected to your South Node. Your South Node is Venus ruled. We know you have an Aquarius Venus and stuff too. And your Venus in Aquarius, your Mercury in Aquarius in your chart were affected also by the Venus and Leo transit going through your first. It's also affected your natal Venus,
Oh yeah.
And so the natal Venus rules your South Node for the longer old story that you deal with your node. But this is how we do astrology. We have current transits that come through, and something like this Venus retrograde is obviously affecting you, but it's affecting your 3rd house too. It's affecting your Venus, the Libra rule. So that's on a simple based way why I asked you what I did, right? Like these questions. And really, honestly, Nikki, you're saying all the magic. I'm not doing anything here except reflecting. I think what's going on. You've had certain, life is interesting, Nikki. I don't have to tell you this, seeing how old you are. But when challenges, certain things come up, if you can catch the reasons why, and I think we get better at this the older we get, right?
Yes, for sure.
And your body will tell you.
Oh gosh.
What has to change.
Yes, and it did. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Pluto, it was like the moment Pluto crossed into my 6th house, it was like I couldn't ignore it anymore. Yeah. But I love the vitality piece that you mentioned, because I had not thought of that. But it is a shift in my vitality.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. And thank yourself too, because you mentioned I went on a plant-based diet. I did this. You had to do things, and you made the changes. And in a sense, setting up a longer cycle for yourself in life to set up how you replenish your energy and your vitality and how to do it. And it's unfortunate, and I'm sorry, Nikki, that sometimes it isn't on its own. You lose friends because of socialness, being social, Venus, because of what happened. You're talking, I lost this, I had to do this in my life. And because of that, the byproduct is there's certain people aren't around anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's not
right.
easy.
Well, hopefully new friends, right?
I gotta tell you, everything that you've said since we've got on the phone to saying thank you, Pluto, which people don't normally do, by the way. They don't normally do. It tells me of an interesting viewpoint and attitude that you have about your situation in your life, and more power to you, Nikki. More power to you, man. You know,
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm glad that you called. Yeah, pay attention to the eclipses this week, to what's happening here. It does affect you. Next spring, definitely too, like I talked about the other caller. You know, you got to know at the end of these eclipses next year, it gets closer to your Mars in Aries and your Moon in Aries. This is a theme. What I will tell you is, remember, third is not without the ninth. Ninth is not without the third. So they go in tandem. They're hand in hand. Whatever you're seeking, and if you don't know what that is, just ponder what it is to seek. Think of yourself on a quest.
Yeah. My life has been a quest. I mean, I feel like that. Like with all that ninth house stuff going on, I'm the lifetime student. I'll jump in to learn anything at any time. I have no problem with that. So yeah, I am definitely leaning into that, and I have more excitement when I look into the ninth house stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of the work that you're doing now here, and like one of the other callers I had who I said was going to have their Saturn return here, like you will. A lot of what's happening with the eclipses in the area of the chart for someone in your generation is a setup for when Saturn enters Aries. And right in the beginning, off the bat, and we'll end the call this way, but right off the bat, when Saturn goes into Aries, Neptune is with Aries too. There's a Saturn-Neptune conjunction that happens early. It's phenomenal, actually, and this is going to be right on your moon. Okay.
Oh, wait, okay.
Yeah. So right now, the work and the things that you see, whether you journal, you're recognizing yourself from the short journeys, your neighbors around you, what's happening around your world, to the quest that you're on and the higher truth that you'll be seeking, because you've always been that way, that you said to me. These are really going to come into play in a couple years here when Saturn goes into Aries. So
awesome. Okay.
Think of yourself as prepping for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Awesome feedback. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Nikki. You rock, and thanks for calling.
Okay, looking forward to seeing you. Maybe a meetup sometime.
Oh,
thanks, Nicholas.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, all right.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
We got some Saturn and Aries people today. We got a couple today, which is interesting because what's coming down the pipeline. So I see how this works. You just don't know. People are calling, man, like stories. It's just amazing. I don't. What I'm doing here on air is 10% of what I do privately. It's a lot different, right? People aren't watching, deeper conversations, they go, okay? I do this in one way as a part of I'll tell you the truth of why I do this. There's a couple things. Because I'm training myself live. I had this idea to do this kind of radio call-in show for a long time, okay? Second, it got me to a place of doing things on the fly where I learn from myself. I watch later. Most importantly, sometimes you catch people who can't do readings or can't pay for one, or it's an act of service for me. Because no matter how successful I am or will become, if I do or I make money, I'm always going to give a part of what I make somehow. I'm going to do a sliding scale readings when I can. If people can pay the regular rate for readings, that means I can do sliding scale with people. If I could do a little bit of this, so people just understand, and it's the way I do it. It's a huge disclaimer here. We're having fun. Sometimes it gets serious. This isn't really how it works behind the scenes with me, but part of what I do here is to put myself first and foremost on the edge of life. Live. You feel me? That's the way I roll. Second, it's service. And if you catch me in the future that my ego gets inflated, or I lose my acts of service, or my thing to help, I don't care about the money. I don't care about accolades. I don't care about likes. I don't care about all that shit in the end. I don't care. What I care about is a difference. If I can make a difference, then I'm on my path. If a person who calls me on air or it hits me up privately, if we connect and they find their power, it's no amount of money can match that shit. This is why I do it. We deserve it. How we doing in chat? Sorry, y'all. I can't get to it. This is new for me. I see about 80 people watching. Thank you for being here if you're new. I know some of you aren't on chat. All right, I got to plug myself here. I got to do something here to do my deal. Part of what I do is someone earlier donated some money to my stream. You could do that through YouTube. There's a money little symbol, whatever, be below whatever's on the chat here. I'm going to get to something else. I'm going to do one more chart here. And then I'm going to end my stream with a book review and something else. And I'm going to be done because I'm getting into hour and 40 minutes. And some of you are right here. So it's like, thank you, Canada Dry. Thank you. I see you in chat. Timothy, all y'all. Thank you. CC99. I know you from the podcast, on the comments, on the Chris's channel. Thank you for being here. It's been a live stream day. There's been a lot of astrologers streaming today. Yeah, good to see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to set things up here for my second, and then I have a certain thing I want to talk about. And then I was going to talk about the transits of this week. I already talked about two of them, but I don't think I'm going to. There's a Mars-Saturn trine that happens on Friday on the way to the eclipse. Mars goes into Scorpio on Wednesday. You all know that. I think some of you watched that. I'm glad Mars is going into Scorpio. We have... Oh, let me just say this then. I will say this, and then I'll get the chart up on the screen. Speaking of Pluto as the last caller, and I know they're watching, and we had some 27-degree stuff that happened in the charts today that came up. Tuesday, Pluto is going to stop its retrograde cycle and station forward at 27 degrees here. So we have a major moment of the year where Pluto is going to start to move forward very slowly. Let's get it together. I'm going to give a shout out to my boy, Rick Levine, who's so good at talking about this and a reminder of like the outer body planets or planets in general. When they station retrograde or station forward, that especially with the outer bodies, Pluto's gonna stay at 27 degrees for a while. It doesn't change in a day. It's just sticking there, you know. So it's just get that straight. Even though Pluto stations direct on Tuesday at 6:09 p.m. Pacific, along with the that's the next day. No, also that day Sun opposite Chiron. But oh, Nikki R, thank you for the donation. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. That helps me out and get better gear. And Citrius, thank you. Nikki R with $10 tip or donation here on YouTube. Citrius, Citrius, it's good to meet you, Citrius. Thank you for the donation. Some people can't do YouTube, and so I will put something else in chat if you feel called to. You can hit that up, and you can always hit up those links and donate there. I hope they work. There's my Venmo account, my PayPal account. Kate says in chat, the owl hooked me. And hearing from you, Nicholas, I state something I find tremendously comforting in your mannerisms. Well, you must like Mercury mannerisms. I have a Mercury in Gemini at 9 degrees, exactly partile Uranus and Libra at 9 degrees. I just have this thing, and it happens. So and Aldebaran is with me. So just get this straight. Pluto hates Lord of the Underworld, stations forward. Political games, manipulation, and power control. Can you find the regenerative process in it all, the 27-degree parts of your chart cardinal? You can. Purge. I dedicate that to Kali Ma. Okay, so that's what's up. Last one. Hello.
Hello,
Are you there?
I am.
This is Sparkles of Gold.
Awesome.
You're live on air.
Am I? Okay.
You are. And it sounds like you've turned down the device.
Maybe.
Yeah. As long as I can't hear myself talking in the background and you don't either, then this will be a lot
Okay.
easier. How are you? Hello, you there? Hello? I can hear myself in the back. If you can hear me, caller, you're just with me. I don't want to lose
I
you.
am. I was waiting for a second to catch up. Holy
Yeah, that's why
cannoli.
I want you to not look at the device and to turn it down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, don't pay
Um,
attention to me coming on a delay or yourself. You need to stay right with me, focused.
With you. Thank you.
Yeah, so can you
Thank
turn
you.
that down in the background?
Yep.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, hello. What am I calling you today? What do you want to call yourself?
I'm Angie,
Hello, Angie.
and my birthday is November
Hold on.
11th,
Oh. I got some Scorpios today.
1979. Oh, girl, you got Scorpio. Yes.
I'm sure. So, Angie, November what?
No, 11/11/1979.
Do you know what time?
Yeah, I do. 1:14 p.m. Columbus, Nebraska. Oh my God, I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
I'm so excited. You're gonna see my Leo moon. Just beaming.
Well, it's like a Leo
I
moon
love
to
you.
announce their Leo moon before I see it.
Love you. Love you, dude.
I just-
I love you.
and we are in a Leo moon right now, aren't we?
Holy
We are.
crap, holy. Yeah.
Angie, November 11th, 1979, 1:14 p.m., Columbus, Nebraska.
You got it, girl. Hello.
Hello, Angie. Angie, I'm going to ask you for something. I'm going to ask you to do something here with me, okay?
Let's do it.
Angie, I want you to take a deep breath with me,
Ooh.
okay?
In it.
Yeah, let's clear our brains. Let's clear
Let's do it.
nervous system, okay?
Aquarius rising.
Yes, Aquarius rising. Angie, is there one thing you would like to ask about or focus on in particular today?
I would love your insights on anything that draws your attention initially, first and foremost,
Okay.
of course. And the thing I'm most into right now is caretaking, actually. I'm caretaking a foster dog, and I'm about ready to caretake my mom for a couple of weeks. My mom is a Leo, but just I'm just very curious about like what you see as right here and right now, and what you might just see as a trigger anywhere in my chart for this eclipse season, because I am going to take care of my mother on the 14th, and then my goal is to come home 2 weeks later on the next eclipse. So anything you see caretaking wise, I want to take care of me.
Well,
I'm kind of sick of taking care of other people.
okay. I hear everything that you said, Angie, about the timing and taking care, and I had something in my brain, and then you just confirmed it by the last couple words that you said. It seems, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that this is something that, you're in a sense have to do, obligated to do, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And there.
And I want to.
Okay, that's important. Actually, it's good to hear you want to. But life is complex and multi-layered, especially when with family. It's not so simple. And, what popped in my head before your last sentence was wondering if while you are facilitating and helping, that as an Aquarius rising, can you have your space while you do this?
Yeah.
And sometimes we can't do that. Like we are 100% focused on someone, especially if they are not in a position to help them themselves, right? And we can do that, but in order to do that too, we need to watch ourselves and take care of ourselves and replenish ourselves so we can balance your well-being and this other person's, right? To be the best that you can be at helping them. So for me, on a very simple way, I'm not even looking at the chart here. I'm not even looking at the chart. I'm just going off what you're saying here.
Yes.
I'm wondering, when you are there during this and stuff, to at least recognize, and if you can, certain moments of the day or night or when you can, where you create your space for you to be you, and if that's a possibility for you, right? So I don't know the structure or the house or the place or where you're going to be, right? But for just capacity reasons, grounded reasons, can you find the space, even when you're in the other space, right? So it's hard with family too, because stuff comes up. There's stuff in the past, who knows, right? But
right, and I'm sure you see my fourth house, and also I love that what I'm hearing, or what's pinging for me, is being strong with boundaries.
You're a Saturnian ruled person. It's always your ruling planet in your chart that rules Aquarius. The way I work is Saturn. So boundaries are good. It's hard with family and situations. Can you find them? And can you do it in a different type of way, whether someone knows about it or not? There's the boundaries that we state with people, right? But they're also, boundaries are opportunities in my mind.
For real.
Right? So, that's what I could say to you about this eclipse weekend and stuff like that. I could there's stuff I could go deeper, whatever. You got Pluto and Libra here. The eclipse is happening there, right?
Yeah, my Pluto's not fucking around.
Yeah, I see it. But again, if you have, no, it's okay. It's okay. If you haven't noticed on this stream, I keep it real simple.
Love.
Right? So to me, you know and live the story of Aquarius and Leo back and forth. You know this.
Yep.
So, and your mom's a Leo. I don't know the rest of your mom's chart. This is not about your mom's chart. But it's like, I'm just saying, how do you balance the Leo Aquarius story the next couple weeks? As in, will you have some space that you can create, or some of what you said, the type of boundaries that you can create? And notice when you can do it before things get set off or it zaps you. So that's all I'm going to say to that one, like, to keep it real simple. My Aquarians love some space. They need space. They get caught up in space and then wonder why they're alone sometimes, because they went too far with space, and then they're like, wait, where is everybody? It's like, well, you gotta put one foot in and to meet up with people. So there's that. I'm gonna say one thing here to something else that I caught.
Yeah.
And there's something that's gonna happen here the third week of November. And we're leading up to a point in the third week of November where Mars and Scorpio is going to make a connection together with the Sun on November 17th. And if I am correct here, and I'm going to do this, let's see if I can do this while I talk to you.
Fucking do it. Yeah.
Your Mars moon is funny there, Angie.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Girl.
So people on the screen or watching my stream right now, they're watching me go through here. They're watching on November 8th. They're seeing Mercury that's gone through the Scorpio planets to your chart, and they're seeing where Mars is at 19 degrees. Right now on the screen, I have November 7th where Mars will be on your Sun before your birthday happens. Your birthday is going to pop up on the 10th. It's a huge week here coming up as your birthday. But if you're noticing, on the screen, people watching, that we know on the 17th that Mars and the Sun will be together at 25 degrees. So basically, Mars goes into Scorpio this Wednesday, but when we get into November, your Scorpionic, who you are and everything with Uranus there is on stage. It's on stage. And I'm not going to go into deeper to this because the type of stuff there, I can only do so much here. I just want you to pay attention to now, and the closer we get to that week, okay? And pay attention and be real with yourself about what it means to be a Scorpio.
Yeah.
The Scorpios can be the realest, more real than Capricorns that I know in my life. I'm not trying to make it a competing thing. But a lot of times, can Scorpio look at themselves truthfully and see what has to go? They're really good at regenerating when they see what has to go.
Yep.
Okay, Angie?
Yeah, dude. There's a bit of a delay. I hope I'm capturing everything you're saying.
Yeah, stick with me on the phone. Like, hear my voice.
I love it. I super appreciate it. I don't know if you're like a Doctor Who fan, but like I've been.
You're gonna
like,
regenerate.
What is
regenerate
the regeneration
at the end of the season.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring in the new Doctor, and yeah, I'm a Doctor Who fan.
Love it.
Great analogy, Angie. This is a regeneration moment. Before I get off the phone, this regeneration moment's been building since the end of 2001 or 2021, actually. This thing has been happening, and so there is something here.
Yeah.
So
dude, I so appreciate it, and I want to be strong. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm not sure I heard you.
You said you want to be strong?
Yeah, no, my whole, like, I have this stupid, like, push. I want to be strong, so I'm sure I'm doing what's right for, like, everything else. But, like, also a thing in me is just like, just do what's right for yourself, not for everybody else.
Say it again one more time, Angie.
Sure.
Say it. It's like a mantra you just told me. I know what you said.
Yeah.
I just want you to say it one more time.
Oh God, thanks. I have this stupid thing where it's like, I want to be everything for everybody else, but if I could just be the thing for me, it would solve everything. I guess I didn't say it the same way, but
if you were to do stuff for you, it would solve everything.
Yeah, I'm psychotically strong. Like, very strong. And so I just want to do the right thing for everybody. And if I just did it for me, maybe it would be the best thing for everybody.
The next couple weeks, Angie, when you're helping people, because you're doing it, find those pockets of space for you to help you, okay?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, real simple. It could be
awesome.
It could be 5 minutes alone.
Yeah.
And what you told,
find those easy.
And what you said to me, you find a good version of it, like a way of saying it, like, hey, when I focus on me right now in these 5 minutes, I'm taking care of me. Real simple. You do whatever you want, but keep it as simple as possible, because honestly, life is very simple in the end. I know. Sure. I see what you have in your chart. I see other things. You have fixed.
It's heavy.
You have fixed angles.
It's cool.
You have fixed angles. Cool. But what's most important is you told me you were strong, and you told me that you know the solution. So step by step, You'll see a little pockets of time in the next 2 weeks. And like I said, when we get into November, there's the Doctor Who moment. Okay? Angie,
Yeah, dude.
thanks for calling.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time and your energy and your actual openness to doing this shit. Like, nobody does this. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, Angie. Appreciate you calling and your words, all right?
Yeah, man. Take it easy.
See you, Scorpio.
Peace.
We all have different stories, but we're all the same. We're human. We have different charts. Somebody born an hour before in the same hospital, an hour after. We have we have the same planets and some of the same whatever, but they switch up in the chart, right? They're in the houses. We're lucky enough to have a birth time. But we're still individual. We're not the same, but we are. As in what we walk into in life and what happens. I say that because we start with compassion for ourselves. I have to tell myself this shit every day. My mantras, the tears I shed last night or the night before or whatever. I find the little thing to go, I'm human. And then I work with clients or a caller. I walk out into the world. You see situations, you see challenge, pain, suffering. It's human. That's not just it. There's the other parts of life that are amazing. But when you get to a place in your life, I think, where you understand what that is, and then there's conflict with people, there's tough situations, or people are trying to find, they're on their quest, and they at a point they don't know where they're at, or, and try to find different ways. Somebody calls me, or they have some other things, or they're religious, they're praying, they're trying to find a way. It's the best you could do a lot of the times. It's like, and so compassion's everything. Love and compassion is everything. You know your own life and what you go through. You just got to imagine when you walk out the door that there's people not doing the same exact thing, and they don't have the same chart as you, but they're carrying something. And once you start to see that, like, you have to still protect yourself and have boundaries, so you have your bubble and people don't come into your world and psychically suck your energy or some shit, right? But inherently is a balance of understanding. But if you're looking, and everyone's got their survival mechanisms of what they have to do to protect themselves, whatever. I understand it. But from just a little point of view of stepping out a little bit, because I like to step out. We're all carrying the load. So that's why when I talk to people, listen to people, I just try to be right there and listen and like, oh, they're human. And all right, let's see what we could do, But first and foremost, I want to say that you're human. I feel for you. I have compassion for you. We got thrown into this world, into chaos, and we're just dealing. And through the dealing and through the chaos and stuff, when we are elevated, when we connect, or whatever you want to call that, we celebrate it too. And can we celebrate all of it eventually? Some of us get to that point. We can have that attitude. It's really hard. It's really hard for me to do that. But I'm just saying, like, to just understand, to give ourselves a break. You can give yourself a break by saying, I'm human. All you got to do is look at any myth and archetype from any culture, whatever, thousands of years, they're all going to have these mythic archetypes. And with the gods and goddesses and everything, you're going to look at them and they're completely faulty. They're completely faulted. They're like, they do this and that. It's like, it's because it's us. And then you see these amazing powers they have because of what they take from what is not working or what is faulted, and how they transform it and it becomes this. They still carry the story. And so when they see other people, the gods and goddesses, or Athena behind me that brings her owl, goddess of wisdom and war, like certain things, Hermes, all the temples I got in my room, they're around and they bring the story and the thing. And if you start to look at myth and archetype, which is the number one thing that has driven the humans, human race, us. That's how we survive. That's how we keep going, is through story and myth. Whether you're binge watching a Netflix series, you're watching some whatevers, we're watching Doctor Who, or we're going way back to the classics, it's the same thing. It's stories that reflect who we are. And once you gauge that, understand that, when you start dealing with people, you know who and you could talk to, who's part of your crew and not. And then you can have compassion for yourself first and for other people. And that is how I'm going to end that. So, that's how I do. Long stream tonight. This is a long one. I will get to the chat. I want to Death Dominatrix in chat is excited for the Kazemi. Of course, Death Dominatrix, you would be. I see other stuff in the chat, and cool. You guys are being good. All right, let's get to something I want to do. That's if I can't do any more readings today for charts. It's pretty good. I gotta wind down here because I got other work to do, and this is going way too long. I need to eat and stuff. So yeah, and then Jendi says don't forget to hydrate and chat, which I'm gonna do right now. And then I'm gonna show you something. And then I gotta plug myself. And I saw somebody way up on my last call when I first started, and I'm gonna find them, who donated. M. Klein, good to see you. Thank you for the donation on the stream. Thank you so much. And Canada Dry, I think I got Canada Dry. This cracks me up. You are so awesome. You're so awesome. I would love to. Canada Dry says, I would love to book a reading. You can whenever it calls you and you're ready. I'm about to put up my information on where to do this here in a second. So I just want to say what's up to those who did their deal. Let's do this. All right. Right now, I have a book. This right here, Astrology, Transformation and Empowerment by Adrian Ross Duncan. I think he's living somewhere in Northern Europe. This book is dope. If you're coming from a therapeutic perspective, he is a therapist. He wrote this book. It's called Transformation and Empowerment. Hence, what I'm doing here. He has... I will read something here. He says, this book is about how to empower the client and create transformation through harnessing the energies in the horoscope. These energies are shown by planetary combinations that are not simply abstract ideas, but are basic and some might say divine. They're divine. I just added that. Root energy vortexes with tremendous capacity for generating transformative power. Talk about a Pluto sentence right here after what we've been talking about it. We also have had some scorpionic energy on this stream. It says, however, the psychology of astrology should not be separated from its philosophy. This is his deal, okay? He says, without a philosophical foundation on which the functioning of astrology is based, the ability for therapeutic intervention and change is diminished. He goes on and on. The rest of the chapters of this book, he's got chart examples, okay? But he just talks about the planetary combinations of inner and outer planets. He goes through each, the sun and the moon. He calls the moon the cradle of the unconscious, Mercury making connections. He got a more modern psychological view, training view of this. Other parts of the book, first impressions, winning the client's confidence. So he's coming from a thing. Mark Jones, by the way, evolutionary astrologer, wrote a book on this, on counseling techniques. Very basic stuff, okay? But really huge to learn and use. I've been for years adding this stuff to my repertoire. I'm always learning, always trying to get better. Any other parts of this book called reframing and empowering intervention. Memory, helping clients recall core material. Deeper intervention techniques, and more. He's got chart or whatever. A great book for those who are interested in this type of thing. I'm going to drop some referral links in the chat. Adrian Ross Duncan, thank you for writing this book. Astrology, Transformation, and Empowerment. And let me throw that in the chat. If you're thinking about this. Oh, and there's my little chat on my other window. Here is the... and this one's harder to find. I only have an Amazon link, unfortunately. I don't have a link to my bookshop, because on bookshop.org they're out of stock, which unfortunate. So there's the link to that book. I'm also going to show you the link here to what I started with today, which is the Orphic hymns. I see you in chat. Senestema, I see you. Gotta spell so in Greek in there. That's my bookshop.org link for the Orphic hymns book. I will also give you this one. Help out the channel. If you're going to buy these books, you buy them through the link. It's to help out my channel, to pay for bills, everything else, so on and so forth. That's what's up. Now I want to show you something. And here is, no, that's not what I want to show you. Here's my website, and it's needs a revamping. But you could see here, it says, I'm going to do it this way. I got to look at it this way. You could, sorry. This is my booking page. I've had a lot of bookings because of the podcast last week. I've been very fortunate. Some of it is not going to open up until after the 17th or the 18th. I got a special going on. If you're especially affected by these eclipses, I got an eclipse special. And I will just put this in chat too. I got to find it. And I'm going to say something important here to reiterate. What you're seeing on the stream isn't usually how I fully do readings in person. Just a glimpse of how it works, okay? So basically, I got my readings here, in-depth ones, shorter ones, so on and so forth. I've had some people ask me to do electional astrology, and I do it on the side in the background, but I am not ready to offer that right now. And I did put something on my website. If you go to my page and scroll down, you will see that I wrote something about this. I said, I have had requests for electional astrology sessions for which I'm not available. I wholeheartedly recommend, and I recommend someone very close to me, a Portland astrologer. Her name is Dasman Natalie, hermesofvalis.com. I'll put this in the chat. She, using zodiacal releasing, electional astrology, she's a witch, esoteric green witch, and she's an amazing tarot practitioner and astrologer, and makes materia, astrological magic, and she's also has had years of training and dealing with people and basically counseling. And so when also on the electional end, she's really good, and I don't think she gets the credit that she deserves. And I just know her. And if you're looking for an electional reading, you can go to hermesofvalis.com, and I will copy that link and throw that in the chat también. I got to do it here. If you were looking for a good tarot reader and electional astrology, electional is coming my way, just not yet. She's got amazing candles. I have one in here, the Lust candle that I'm here right here. There's a lot of other stuff. She just put out an amazing spray. That is Dasman. Hi, Dasman. Hi, Daz. That is her. But anyway, that is me there. We're going to look at chat and catch up with y'all and talk to y'all. And I'm not taking any more chart readings. I know some of you are leaving here because of it. Thank you for doing whatever. But I have to take care of myself and do a call to action. I see you were discussing stuff here as astrologers do. Angie, if you're watching, you could take a look at the chat. There's some people who are saying stuff. And you guys are catching things out, because you're astrologers. You got to understand, I see other things, but I don't bring them up. And there's other things I don't go because they have to do with deeper ways of doing readings. And that is something I don't completely reveal or do on air. And it's not the space for that. The deeper real work happens on one-on-one client sessions, whether it's with me or anybody else that you're going to book with, So there's only so much I can do in 10 to 15 minutes, and that's all I'm going to do. So Sarah, Elisa, good to see you. I'm catching up with chat, and then we'll get to the endings here. Thank you for hanging in there. Record amount of people today on this live stream. The House Oftwigs, good to see you, Erica. I just want to say that I didn't catch you. Ray Weather, good to see you. Nancy. Catherine, I see you in chat. El Sosa. Your first time on live, loving it. Thank you, El Sosa. And Citrius asks, would you ever at some point maybe do a tour of your library? Sort of. I maybe want to, but I don't have everything of my own library-wise. I have a lot of it in storage. So I got my links. Nikki R., you're welcome. Thank you for being here on the stream. Kate, I appreciate your support of your astrological contacts. You're welcome, Kate. And I'll be real. Dasman is an important person in my life. And she's so good intuitively and has the structure too with counseling techniques. I totally respect her, you know. So, Mystic Solutions, thank you for being here. Have a great night. And Citrus found me from Rick's channel because I used to help him live stream. Yeah, that's what's up. I talked about a book. That was my plan. I did some readings today. I had no idea what was going to happen, but that's how it did. If you go back into my past live streams when I've done this, you'll see what happens. They're completely different each time. Listen, follow me on Instagram. I'll put another links page up here. I got a funny links page up here. I'll put it in chat. Follow me on IG. My Patreon, I'm building it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do right now and hit the notification bell because you'll know when I do my surprise live streams because this is a planned one, but sometimes I do surprise ones. I am overwhelmed in one way. After I'm done tonight, I have 3 days to finish and come up with a lecture that I'm supposed to do for the Washington State Astrological Association in person on Thursday. It's my first ever lecture I'm doing in person. It's also on Zoom. It's, you know what? That astrology podcast I prepared for, I know those. I just dived into a place and found myself eerily grounded when I did it. The lecture I have to do this Thursday, I got to figure that one out. It's different from YouTube. So that's what's up there. But I threw my links in there. I also will do this again. If you haven't already, I'm going to put this link in here to support myself. If you can spread the word about me in the future with my videos, like when I make I had a Venus and Virgo video I wanted to make this week, but I can't do it. And possibly an Eclipse video, which I might have to do on the fly. Maybe, I don't know when. So that's what's up with me. And thank you, everybody. And thank you for the new people. Thanks for the new people. There are those of you who were called who didn't get through. I can do the best that I can, and that's how it goes. I do these once a month, and I try to pick a decent time, okay? So that's what's up. Anything you can do to support me, follow me, subscribe, newsletter links. It's all in the links. It's all, you'll see some of this below. It's going to take me 24 hours to add chapter markers for this. It takes me a long time. There's something I might have to edit. I don't know. Hopefully not. What else? That's it. That's it. Right on, man. Yeah, this is good. This is good. It's good. Stephanie Clutter says, I saw you on the Astrology podcast. Found you right away. Thank you, Stephanie. That podcast was interesting, wasn't it? I'm thinking about Taylor Swift and Travis. I'm just like, man, I don't care. I can't stand the Kansas City Chiefs. First off, I'm just gonna say that I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I listened a lot of Taylor Swift in the last couple of weeks that I had to. So whatever the case is, we'll just see what happens with that. But I'm gonna stick to this. It's funny what happens in relationships that are public. It's very hard to have a normal life when you're a public figure. Think about this. If you were famous and you were trying to do a relationship, it's like you know, you find yourself in bubbles, weird places. It's hard, you know. Kate says, I think even if you showed up with a blank piece of paper, you wouldn't probably like it, bro. Thank you. Thank you, James, in chat. And John Newton, I love you too, John. Good to see you. Let me take a swig of water and let's go out. Let's go out the way we usually go out. Aphrodite, you've entered in the place of Virgo. That place, man, that you bring is so healing and soothing. And you Virgos out there, and you Venus and Virgos, I see the gifts that you carry. You're there for people when you're connected and love them, and you'll help them and cook for them and give them a massage and shit like that and other things because you see what's not working for them. And you'll also be straight up at the right times and be very critical. I see this, Nicholas, what you're doing there with your whatever part of your life, and this could change. I could help you, but you need to do it yourself. There's this thing with Virgo energy and Virgo, they're really good at this stuff. I worry about them because they're sacrifice in service mode, and they'll lose themselves sometimes. So they gotta watch themselves. And there's a little bit of story of that here this month that will come up because of Venus and Virgo ruling the South Node and being the ruler of the Libra type of things going on. So we have to take note of how this is functioning. And if you have a tendency to give too much or it's not reciprocated, you got to make the call. You got to step back, and re-look at those things, review those things. The practicalness, the service, but like you be discerning with that, but not beating yourself up. Venus and Virgo be discerning about your own relationships to yourself or to other people, but it doesn't have to be cold and go on this other side. If you're going within, if you're checking yourself out that way, you are going to get a clue here in the next 24 hours because Venus is opposite Saturn. So make notes of what happens with that. When we get later in the month, like when Venus trines Jupiter, we get to we're opening up there. So some of the stuff that happens now. So anyway, talking about some Venus and Virgo stuff, we appreciate you. We started the ritual in the live stream today with an Orphic hymn to Aphrodite. We say goodbye to Venus and Leo. How sweet honey you were and are. But we also see the depth and the ritualistic nature of Venus and Virgo and what they bring. And how we need this right now. So bring it to me, Venus and Virgo. I'll drink the tea. I'll rub the oil on my sore muscles. And whatever you concocted in the apothecary that you got over there, the apothecary of love, I'm down with it. And as we go to this weekend and a goodbye, we are going to go there to the eclipse weekend. I'm going to wish the best for you, those on the eclipse weekend. Stay steady. Remember, Pluto, Mars, you don't have to jump on things. Wait for the pieces to fall. Try to do that, okay? My friends, try. And here is that. And this is my face. And this is that. Now you see why I put this up? How I'm going to say goodbye? A goodbye? appreciate all of you. Stick with my weirdness, my spontaneity, my spirit. I go all out when I do this, and I always will to the end. Truth, honor, loyalty, and love is how I roll. So thank you for everything, the support in the last week, for being on the live stream, and for joining me on this journey. 50,000 subscribers in 5 years. That is my goal. Can I get there? Can I have a live stream with 500 people? 1,000 people? With a Venus ritual? Whoever we're going to call upon. That's what I think about every day. And I think about my own empowerment and yours, and how we're entering a new zone here in the next year and a half, where we'll be called upon to show our power in the world, in our communities, and in society. It's the deeper reasons why I'm doing this. I'm not trying to start a cult, but I'm thinking about something else. Something new. For me and for you. Have a good week.